Okay, so today we're going to talk about people and their projections. Everyone is walking around the world with a mirror that reflects their own self doubts, their own insecurities, their own beliefs and concepts about the world, their own concepts about other people, their traumas, and they're walking around with a mirror every day. And most people don't even realize it. They wake up, they go to work, they see their partner, they take care of their baby. I don't know. They do all of the daily activities and they're projecting constantly. And like I said, a lot of people don't even realize like what they're projecting into this world because they're just living in it with concepts that they have grown up with and feelings that have not been fully understood from their childhood and from their traumatic experiences. And I used to be so understanding towards this. Like I used to be like, oh my god, like I feel so bad for them. Oh, they just had like a rough life. They just had a rough childhood. Oh, I understand why they're acting like that. Like they were bullied or like whatever, you know? And now I'm just sick of it. Like, I'm honestly sick of it. I felt a lot of anger wondering why I've spent so long and I've taken up so much of my life protecting people from their own experiences and allowing people to let me carry their emotional mess for them. I think like a year ago, I started feeling very existential about it and feeling like, oh my God, do I have to go the rest of my life like experiencing people's projections forever? Like I started seeing it like in layers and very meta, being like, okay, so everyone's a mirror, everyone's like reflecting their own negative self-beliefs, and well, sometimes positive ones too. I'm not going to make it all negative, but everyone's carrying these beliefs and they're projecting them, and I'm gonna have to deal with it forever. Like from growing up in an empathetic household and I think a highly sensitive household where my family has always tried to see the best in people, I have had a hard time trying to actually see people as bad. I've always seen people as good. And because I've seen people as good, when people have negatively projected something onto me, I've taken it to be like, oh, well, they didn't mean any harm. Um, they're they don't know, like I know how they're feeling. It's okay, like I'll let them get away with it. So this video is for people who feel emotionally full, who feel like their entire life they've allowed people to project onto them and they've taken other people's issues and insecurities as their own and beat themselves up for it to the point of burnout. This is where I am at now. I'm definitely not perfect and I'm still learning how to navigate all the new feelings of anger and frustration that I felt towards people while building up my own self-worth. Humans have a lot of needs, but some of their main needs are to survive and to belong. So where projection comes from is when, and I'm not a psychologist, but where projection comes from is human beings' defense mechanisms and coping mechanisms to feel like they are accepted and that they're worthy in this world. So where I have faced the most of people's negative projections is both in my work and personal life, specifically at work, because I think that a lot of people tie their sense of value and self-worth to work. And so the workplace is actually a place where you can really see how people see themselves and how people feel about themselves. There's, of course, the obvious friendship situations, maybe some friends acting different in front of a group than, one-on-one. I'm sure most of you have seen a friend who's been really sweet and really nice to you one-on-one, but the moment it shifts into a group, like acting weird and they're calling you out in front of the group or they're saying weird things and you're just like, what? Why are you acting like that? And I've always felt off about these sorts of interactions. Like I've always known it's not related to me, but I've honestly gaslit myself into compassion to be like, okay, I know she just feels like insecure in front of a group. And so like, I know that's probably why she threw me under the bus. Like, it's probably why she said that weird thing or made fun of me. It's like, cause she just wanted to belong and like humans need to belong. So it's fine. But still, like I've always felt frustrated at it because it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Like, even though you are understanding where someone is coming from with the things that they've said that have potentially negatively impacted you, it doesn't mean that it's not like frustrating to bear that in a group or bear that in a work setting and have to take it on and have to feel like you've just taken on on someone else's emotional turmoil and made it your own now. And so because I gaslit myself into compassion, I was all the time kind of feeling like bad for people and also simultaneously feeling annoyed and just feeling off and feeling like there was a sense of dissonance between myself and the way I thought and also the way that I felt. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my old coping mechanism. So we'll use the friend example. If someone was acting like different to me in front of a group than they did individually, I would have a lot of over empathy and I would have a lot of self blame. Oh my god, Julie is like attacking the I need to like separate her because she's just being too much right now. There was a lot of self blame that I would feel and I would go into these cycles. So I would think to myself, they call me out like that in front of a group because I seemed weak. It's because I don't have boundaries. It's because I'm too welcoming. So I would have a lot of self blame when people would project their stuff onto me. And I was constantly self-improving to stop being a target. Like I would try to set even more boundaries because I guess there's the general concept of you teach other people how to respect you, which is true. Like you do teach other people how to respect you in terms of the way that you act, the way that you respond to them. And so I was really having that mentality in my head and being like, I'm not teaching other people to respect me. Like people are constantly projecting onto me. It's because I seem weak. I would just really take that on and just think that it was all my fault as to why people were always saying these things to me and being honestly weird. I thought that being more healed and being more like assertive and being more just not being myself would stop other people projecting onto me. Like I really took that on and made it a project. Sensitive people often attract projections because I think people can tell, even if they don't realize, all right, this person is going to be understanding about it. This person's going to be nice about it. If I say this weird thing in front of a whole group to this nice, sensitive person, they're going to welcome it and they're going to allow it, and I won't look lame and I won't look bad in front of people. But you know what? Like, it's not your responsibility to be that welcoming person for people. I'm still struggling with this because I still think that I just like try to accept people, and I not very naturally accept people for who they are, and people can see that, and people will continuously project onto me, and I'm just trying to learn what's mine and what's theirs. I was going crazy thinking like this will never end, like people are going to act like this forever, and just feeling so frustrated with it all. I didn't grow up with the highest sense of self-worth at all. I've been quite insecure throughout my life, and I've treated myself like a self-improvement project for a lot of my life. I think I've come to the point now where I've talked to my psychologist a lot about this and have really just felt so upset and so angry that I've let other people and their projections bring me down this much. I took everything that people said as truth. If someone thought that I was XYZ, like I would truly take it on and truly believe it because I was providing so much empathy and so much compassion and care for that person. And I thought, well, if they're saying this thing about me, then it must be true. It brought my self-worth down so much, and I've had to work on it like so much in therapy. And this has brought up a lot of anger for me now that I'm still trying to deal with. A lot of anger and frustration that there's people who aren't self-aware going out into this world, who aren't reflecting on their actions, and they aren't reflecting on their behaviors, and just going and spilling out all of their emotional turmoil and mess. The exact place I'm in right now is I'm no longer excusing people's behavior, but I don't know what to do with all of this anger inside of me. Like, it's really tough because I haven't allowed myself to feel anger for 25 years. I've always justified people's actions and been so accepting of them that now feeling all of this anger when someone projects onto me, I just don't know what to do with it, and it kind of overwhelms me and takes a hold of me. Like, if someone says something weird to me at work, I feel so angry that they think that they can just put this insecurity and this negative self-concept that they have of themselves and put it onto me. Like, I honestly feel that is so unfair because even though I've struggled with insecurity throughout my life, I've always been so cautious to not put it onto other people and to not make people feel like they're less worthy just because I don't feel worthy about myself. Okay, to stop justifying hurtful behavior, even though you know where it comes from. Like, you can understand if you're aware and if you're self-aware, you will understand where someone's insult is coming from, and you still don't need to entertain it and you still don't need to justify it because that's on them. I've also come from a place where I've sought to feel understood by people, and that has caused a lot of oversharing and over-explaining so that people can see me more. So maybe they'll stop projecting their things onto me if they can see me more and understand where I come from. Something I've talked about in therapy as well is to limit oversharing and over-explaining to people. Not because showing less of myself will protect me from the insults and the projections of others, but more so from the lens of, do these people who are insulting me, making me feel less than, projecting onto me, yada yada, do they actually deserve to see the inner workings of my brain, and actually do they deserve to understand me? Like, I've taken more of that lens, which is different from before. I used to think that everyone deserved the best parts of me. I used to try and set boundaries from a place of hiding, try to set boundaries so that people would stop projecting their traumas onto me, but I realized that in doing that, I'm still providing this energy of I am the one that is weak. I think now I've really tried to shift it to, how can I cherish myself more? How can I protect myself more from these people's energies? And how can I protect myself from things that essentially aren't mine? From energies, traumas, insecurities, self-concepts that aren't mine? And how can I separate myself from these people? I've also allowed a little bit of judgment into my life, because I've come from a background, like I said, where I was not allowing myself to be judgy, not allowing myself to be mean. And I honestly think that I still struggle with it, because I really quickly see where someone is coming from, and I feel empathy so quickly. But now I've tried to actually introduce stodginess into my life, and that just kind of allows me to step into more of an energy of, all right, that's on you. I don't know why you're trying to like come into my life and like say that something's on me, but it's like on you. I would never treat someone like that. Why are you doing that? If you've spent years defending people's behavior and allowing them to mistreat you because of their own history, it's like, what's left for you? Because you're taking on everyone else's emotions and you're taking on everyone else's states. Like, what's actually yours? And I got to a point in my life where I couldn't see anything that was mine, because everything that was within me was things that other people have projected onto me. And I got to a point where I was just so sick of it. I wanted to connect to myself. I wanted to love myself. I wanted to be authentically myself without having to take on other people and their opinions. So now I'm in a little bit of an in-between state where I still deeply care and try to understand and empathize with people without letting their projections hurt me or make me feel lesser about myself. Because it's really hard when you've had low self-worth for a lot of your life because of things that you've allowed from other people, and now having to shift that into a that's a them thing and this is a me thing. It's really hard to find and draw the line. I found it really hard to not let other people get to me, and this is why I'm doing this video, just to try and voice it out a little bit more, and try to seek some understanding. Because right now I feel a lot of anger and that I need to process, and I feel a lot of sadness and fear in this world that there's so many people who don't seek to learn and understand where their inner thoughts and workings are coming from, and people who just go about their day without realizing that things that they say and things that they do can actually have an effect on people and their well-being. I try to just sit and be grounded and tell myself, like, okay, you are already working on yourself to the extent where you are so aware of how your brain works. You're so aware of your own insecurities. You're so aware of your own self-concept, and you know this isn't yours right now. Someone might be coming at you and telling you what they think is correct and what their own defense mechanisms, and they're feeling insecure because they've had to use this defense mechanism to protect themselves from the world. This does not need to be yours. Like, truly, well and truly, someone else's defense mechanism, someone else's coping mechanism is not yours. How do you learn to stay grounded without shrinking or snapping? It's something I'm still learning to deal with, because that anger for me is so new that I've experienced a lot of physical feelings of anger. Still trying to figure out how to respond to people and their projections without feeling guilt or feeling resentment. I'm just trying to be myself and stay connected to myself. I owe it to myself and I owe it to my nervous system not to take on other people's unprocessed stuff and their mental load and their baggage. Like, I honestly, truly owe it to my nervous system, and I owe it to myself now to separate myself and differentiate myself from other people. You're not a bad person for finally feeling upset. You're not a bad person because you're feeling a little bit judgy or you're feeling angry. Like, let yourself feel it, because this is how you're going to start differentiating what's yours and what's not yours. When you feel that anger rise up, like, you can just welcome it and say, like, this is not mine. I'm feeling this anger because someone else is reflecting something onto me that has nothing to do with me. And you can let yourself feel that anger, and you do not have to take it on, and then you can just let it go. You can feel angry and then you can let it go. This video was a bit all over the place and a little bit chaotic, but hopefully you see where I'm coming from. And if you resonate, just know that you're not alone. Like, I'm going through this every single day and I'm learning how to deal with it and every single day, and I think I've really come a long way from where I was before. You can learn how to build your own self-worth without letting other people's energy drain you, or at least I'm trying. So hope you all have a really wonderful week. Maybe I'll do an updated video when I learn how to manage things a little bit more. I don't know, but it's something I'm navigating. So yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.